Folks, welcome back.
Yeah.
To another talk with Diego. And today we have Andy Alashahi, VP and co-founder of SearchPRO Systems, one of the leading digital marketing agencies focusing on the small to medium-sized businesses. And today we want to talk about artificial intelligence, AI. What is it? What does it mean? How it came about?
The good side, the bad side.
The good, the bad, yeah. And is it affecting you? Which way? And I think we're going to talk about some things that you have experienced over the past couple of years that you may go, huh, that might have been why that thing popped up on my phone. So, Andy, welcome, man. Nice to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Nice ride you pulled in today.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Huh? It roar.
Hard work.
Awesome, man. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So, dude, let's talk about AI.
Yeah. So this stuff is this has been brewing, and this has been getting bigger and bigger over time. See, I'm not an expert in it. I know just enough to be dangerous because of my industry. It's changing the digital marketing world.
Yep.
So now we can know when customers are ready to buy versus just who can buy. So traditionally it was based on profiles, but now it's hitting me where I'm like, okay, this is the stuff that's been brewing over the last 8 years. And I guess you could say there's a good side and then there's a bad side. So it's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
But, it all comes down to privacy, and that's what I was hoping to, talk about today.
Yeah. And when you mention privacy, before us sitting down, when we're having conversations past couple of weeks, you sent me
Yes.
a documentary to take a peek at.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Yeah. And it's something that's not recent. It's been around for what, four or 5 years?
Like I said, it's been brewing. It's been
Yeah.
percolating, and the level of loss of privacy is going higher and higher and higher. It's not slamming you in the face. It's gradual, and as you can see what more and more and more it's inching, and literally you can find out almost anything.
Yes.
About anybody.
Dude, in there, somebody was talking about there are companies that can capture over 1,500 points of data per person.
Yes.
That's insane.
Across 200 million users of the web.
It's crazy. And then when you see how they're gathering this data, so I'm a believer in that there are benefits to some of that stuff, right? I mean, because to a certain extent, if you educate yourself, you can control how much of your information is out there to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
But I also believe that you have to also provide some of this information so that your lifestyle can be, in a way, enhanced by the technology as well.
The thing that people need to understand is, when people say AI, they think, they're thinking of that movie that came out in the late 90s with the kid or whatever. Like they think of like robots, Terminator, robots taking over. But if you just step back and understand it a little bit better, it follows the same model as like when a child, like I mentioned to your son earlier, you see the oven, a stovetop is on, it's red. Picture when you were a child and by accident, you burn yourself.
Yeah.
You don't do that again because you learned that element is hot.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence, it works the same exact way. So traditionally computers, you had to program it. You program it to tell it what to do. Mm-hmm. Well, with machine learning and AI, the element of intelligence is based on experience and learning from the experience and all the experiences prior. So it's a collection of data. So think about you in your own life. As we get older, we become wiser. Why do we become wiser? Because we experience different things. The AI is doing the same thing.
But isn't that what people are afraid, that it gets too smart?
Of course,
Right?
yes. People think, oh well, they can take over. Computers can take over and take jobs, and there's a lot of worry.
Because I know we've been feeding it. We've been feeding the beast for a long time. A while
I
back,
like that, the beast.
yeah, a while back, I saw a TED talk
All right.
from one of the founders of reCAPTCHA. You've probably seen that, I'm not a robot
Yes.
when you're trying to do a form,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, we use those for websites. Yep.
Yeah, so have you noticed that sometimes it'll give you 8 pictures and say, select the ones with a bridge on it. And you go and select the ones that have a bridge in it, right? It'll show you a one single picture broken into 8 squares. And they go, select the squares that have a car in it. And you go and select the 6 squares where you can see a car. So this guy, on his TED Talk, came out and said, that's how we are teaching the machine for AI.
And also Instagram hashtagging too. That's what I've heard.
Yeah. So, and then another thing, and this is where some of the benefits, in that same TED Talk, this guy was talking about how, thanks to reCAPTCHA, because now it's when we see the images, but before the images, they were putting out words, and you would type in the word.
Scribbly looking, yeah.
Yeah, it was scribbly looking. You know what that is? You know where that comes from? That comes from millions of books. These were pages of books that were scanned, and they put the image out to, let's say, 1,000 people. And if out of the 1,000, 998 of them typed in the right one, what they were doing was digitizing all of these books, thanks to us feeding the machine. So we're pretty much showing, because I think that's one of the things with AI that in the past were downside of it. It can't see. You put a picture in front of it, it didn't know what it was, right? Because things were based on zeros and ones.
Yep.
And we're feeding all these images, and you and I, every time we did a reCAPTCHA, we're telling it what that is, so that kid that maybe back then was an infant, today may be almost a teenage.
Yeah. It's mind-blowing stuff. And it just keeps getting like smarter and smarter.
Smarter
Yeah.
and smarter and smarter. And I don't know, man. I may be looking at it from too of a liberal side, but I think we need it. I think our input of knowledge, it's not as fast as the computing power of a computer. So we need that intelligence for us to be able to make better decisions going forward.
Speaking of decisions, that's the part that makes it important, is because it learns from the past and the current events, and then can make decisions and predict certain things. For example, like I mentioned earlier, you burn yourself on the stove, then in the future, hey, that's red, it's hot. I can predict if I touch that, I'm going to burn myself. So I'm going to make the decision not to do so. So like these predictive technologies are being used by corporations for like credit decisions, loans. They'll use behaviors as a decision, as a metric now, and it's all based on their predictive technology, which is AI based.
AI based, dude. I mean, you mentioned it earlier today in that documentary.
Yep.
And I'll link to it. I think I saw something on YouTube that you can get to it.
Yeah, it's free on YouTube, just so everybody knows. It's terms and conditions may apply. But if you search hardware terms and conditions may apply. That one I think is the full movie, because if you just type in terms and conditions may apply, you might have trouble finding. You'll find the trailers, but the full documentary, if you put hardware before terms and conditions, it's easier to find. I don't know. I was trying to find it on YouTube and I had trouble.
We'll put just go to the description. I'll put a link in them to the one that I found. It's over an hour long.
Yep.
It's the whole thing. But you think, so talking about those patterns in there, it talks about a guy that was using an Amex.
Yeah.
And American Express through history has always been a high class, high spenders, luxury type of credit card. They even have like special club too. Black card club or something like that. And you have to spend, is it over $50,000 a month or some crazy shit like that? On the card.
I think everyone's different, but I heard it was 250,000.
200. Oh, yeah, I know it's something ridiculous.
Or something like that, yeah.
For you to be part of that club and get that fancy card. But a guy took, it might have been just a regular Amex card, but he took it to Walmart and was buying stuff at Walmart. And the machine didn't think that someone that purchased at Walmart can have an Amex. And they sent the guy a letter canceling his account.
Yeah, some companies will say to you that they'll use, technology to help them make a decision, and then they'll have a human review the decision. So if you don't agree with the decision, they'll reevaluate it. But the foundation of a lot of decisions within major corporations are all predictive machine learning.
AI. I mean, we're seeing it everywhere. Big companies are using it to make internal decisions themselves.
Yes. And then in the digital marketing world, it is fine-tuning advertising to a mind-blowing level, like to a level that when I learned about it, literally no exaggeration, like the hairs stood up on my arms, on my neck, like I was, and I'll get into how I found out about it, but I had to step back and say, so we pretty much know what the market's doing in real time? Really? How is that possible? And then that's when me as a digital marketing consultant, I was forced to learn about it. I had to learn.
You got to stay ahead of it.
That's the direction the industry's going.
Yeah.
So now I'm not going to advertise to this person because they fit the profile, based on their behaviors or interests. I'm targeting them because in the last hour, they were showing pre-purchase behaviors that 100,000 other people that purchased this item that I'm selling did before they purchased. It's crazy.
So let's get right into it. Let's talk about how this thing works, because I could be a little paranoid, but let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I can swear to God, the other day, I was having a conversation with somebody.
Yes.
Just having a conversation. No phones. Phones were probably in my pocket. But we were just talking. And, dude, I went to Amazon, or it might have been Facebook or something, and I started seeing ads.
You mentioned Amazon, yep. Yeah.
For the stuff that we were talking about.
Yeah.
I wasn't searching anything. I guess I could kind of understand it if I'm searching. And then you see all kinds of ads popping everywhere. But I think, I'm sure I did not do any searches. I just having a conversation with somebody, and ads about or related to whatever we were talking about were coming up.
Yeah, so you mentioned Amazon.
Yes.
I don't want to violate or divulge too much in people's privacy, but like the group that created that for them, we're partnered with. So we actually are affiliated with the AI development group that created that for several, larger organizations. So what you experienced was what I mentioned to you about Site Surge when I sent you the information.
Yeah.
So that's the new way to advertise. And companies like Walmart, Mercedes-Benz and a few others are actually using this predictive machine learning technology to know when someone's ready to buy. That's the piece that's
Yeah.
before
And it all sounds great, but we're also going to be talking about privacy. Isn't that a
Yes.
violation of my privacy
That's the other side of the sword. That's
to
the other
listen to
side.
my conversation?
It's
'Cause by the way, you know this guy, the guy that created McAfee? I forgot his first name, something McAfee.
yeah,
This guy believes that all cell phones,
John McAfee.
John McAfee,
Yeah.
he believes all cell phones is a spy machine. He goes, you're carrying it in your pocket. Because now I think he lives off the grid, somewhere in the mountain.
He's a big crypto guy too.
Yeah, big time. Big time. And when the presidential alert came out, I saw a tweet. I don't know if it wasn't true. It might have been fake news, but I saw a tweet where he posted something about, hey, through this alert, you may be giving access to your camera, microphone, whatever. But here's why I'm getting to this point. Not on my iPhone, but on my Android, I can download an app that has nothing to do with camera and microphone, and it's asking for permission. Permission to access your microphone, permission to access your location,
Yeah.
permission to access your camera.
Yep.
I'm like, this camera has nothing to do. Has nothing to do with my microphone. Why is this app asking?
Because it's collecting data.
Exactly.
Data is the new
Yes.
commodity. It's the new oil. It's the new
Yes.
gold.
Yes, dude, it's crazy. I don't know, but I'm passionate about this shit. I love it.
Yeah. So that data that's being collected now can be sold and used by like the technology that I mentioned. So
Yeah.
that is the fuel or the lifeblood of, and I'm bringing it up because it's my industry, it's what I do, but it fine tunes and allows you to be more efficient with your advertising. Now on the other side, yeah, I don't like to be listened to. I don't like my private conversations to be heard, but I have to kind of think on both sides, like, cutting your advertising spend by 80% and getting the same results, or doubling down and getting double or more results is really attractive, especially for a client, or someone that's looking to build their business.
Yeah, man. And I'm a customer of getting marketing solutions that are going to allow me to be more efficient.
Yeah.
Because in the marketing world, if you think about the old school ways of doing marketing, you send out a mailer, some flyer through the mail.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to target 1,000 people, you had to send out 100,000 flyers, because the response on that campaign was less than 1%.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you look at those results, you go, is it even worth it?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to look at your average ticket to see if it's worth it.
Yeah. But if there's a technology out there that can look into the patterns of my ideal customer and allow me to now print 1,500 and get to 1,000 people.
Exactly. That's
You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, that's where it's extremely valuable, because you have, let's say, real estate agents.
Yeah.
Their average commission. I've talked to a few around here. They said $7,000 to $10,000 or more per home. So if you could know exactly when someone's looking to buy or sell a home in real time, rather than spinning your wheels, it's worth it. But if you're selling a number 2 pencil for 10 cents, it's not worth it to you. Obviously, because the data is not cheap either.
Yeah.
This AI technology and machine learning, to access this data, it's not a small investment. It's, significant.
No, and I think everything it goes with the market, because I think there's a big trend with minimalist people that want to move into tiny houses. They don't want to be tied to big homes. They want everything delivered to them, right, in a digital way. I think like less and less people are reading books because they can listen to them on their commute to work. See what I'm saying?
That's what I do. Yeah.
It's what I do.
I love Audible.
So if you can tap into that digital time with your product and services. And then on top of that, you can deliver that to them. And I think that's why Amazon got to $1 trillion, man. Convenience.
Oh, yeah.
Convenience.
Yep. Yeah. I actually just experienced this Halloween costume. Friend of mine, I was looking for a specific costume, and a friend of mine sent me a link to eBay. And I couldn't remember my eBay password. And I don't know why on the link it didn't have any forgot password option. And I was so mad, I went right to Amazon. Boom, boom, boom. 3 clicks.
Done.
Ordered the
Yes.
costume. Ordered the costume.
Yes.
Done. And I'm like, wow, because of the simplicity and ease of Amazon, I immediately knew right to go to them.
And talking about the predictive stuff, right? And how using that the data of everybody else and trying to predict what you're going to do. So right now we're going through the process of putting a pool up. And I didn't know you have to do what they call bonding so that you don't feel electric shocks in the water. And you have to buy this copper wire that goes all around the pool. So I went in and searched for this copper wire. And I bring it up and I click to add it to my thing. And it said right away, hey, before you go any further, the folks that have bought this wire also purchase this little thing that tags here and that. And then I did a little more research. And guess what? I had to also buy those little adapters and this and that to follow code here in my state.
Yep.
That's why I'm saying, like, I'm okay with some of this.
Yeah, it's
right?
It's convenience and it's
yeah.
Yeah.
So my order went from like, I don't know, $80 up to like $150.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't there a little bit of ROI?
Yes.
Huh? It almost doubled the revenue in that purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Just knowing that other people also bought these other things and it recommended it to me.
I presented the technology and the capabilities from a digital advertising standpoint to people that are super frugal, that don't really invest a lot into their digital strategy and have gotten super frugal business owners to go, I think I want to do this. Here's the thing, it's not cheap. It's not something that any business can do. It's an investment. But to have that steady flow of literally potential customers like picking apples off a tree, it's worth it to some businesses to invest in it. But yeah, like when I first learned about it, if you don't mind, I'm going to get into how I was introduced to it.
Yeah, go for it, man.
So we have a relationship, and most digital marketing companies do have relationships with competitors. And way back in the day, I think it was like 2007, 2008, we ended up becoming friendly with another firm on a few potential projects, and we developed a relationship. And just in passing recently over the phone, we check in with each other periodically. In passing on the phone, they mentioned, hey, we have we've invested in a company that's building AI technology, and hey, we just sold it to Walmart. I was like, oh, that's a big account. What do you guys do? Let me step back. I didn't really know anything about this. What do you mean you sold Walmart? You building their website? You running their social media? No. We created a technology that can reduce your ad spend by 80% or whatever. How do you do that? Well, we can actually know when someone's ready to buy before they engage us or a competitor. Mm-hmm. Then I really leaned in my seat and I'm like, what is this? What's going on? This is crazy. So long story short is there's the marketing company that we're friendly with, and then there's the AI technology company that they're invested in. I don't know a ton about the backstory, but I just know its capabilities. So basically, in a nutshell, this technology works side by side with your digital advertising. So if you're running ads on Facebook, Google, display, all that stuff, you're only running ads to people that are in that ready buyer phase.
Is that what Target used when they send to a 17-year-old's house a flyer about pregnancy and what she needed to buy before having a baby?
I wouldn't say it's that technology.
But you heard about that?
Yes, I
and
heard about that.
And the dad came
yeah.
to the store furious because he didn't know that his 17-year-old was pregnant, and Target found out before he did.
That's
crazy.
That is crazy. I don't know if it was that. So there's
It's
different.
probably something similar.
So let me explain something to the folks at home so they understand the difference. The technology that my company has a license for is a collection of 200 million users of the web in real time across hundreds and hundreds of websites. Data collection, digests it, cross-references it with 24 months of consumer behavior prior to decide and predict when someone's ready to buy. What most companies are using right now, because I would have heard about a different, say Target. Target's using what's called like platform native data, like data from a platform itself. So from xyz.com or abc.com, it's from that platform. So let's say on their website, or if they purchased data from one group, then they have their own way to dissect and drill down into that data to create an action. But there's different, so not all are created equal. Like I'm out in the marketplace and I'm talking to people and they're like, yeah, I heard of that. And I talk to them further and I'm like, you're describing retargeting. When someone goes to your website and through cookies, you can track that person and get them to come back to your site by running an ad. That stuff has been around for a long time. What's super, super cutting edge is what do you do with all this data? Well, this machine learning technology, AI, can actually collect the data, sort through it, and drill down and just say, hey, this person's ready to buy because the 20,000 people that bought this glass did X, Y, Z. We're going to grab them at that point when they're ready to buy. That's the difference. So you're talking about single platform data or data reports from thousands and thousands of people in your region across hundreds of sites. There's a big difference. People need to understand that because you got a lot of people saying they can do these things and it's nowhere near like what Walmart is doing and what Amazon's doing. It's a whole nother scale.
No, dude. And when you mentioned earlier that this is something that's been cooking for a while.
Yeah, it's been.
Dude, I remember when a couple of years back, it was all about big data. That was the term that was being thrown around.
It's the same thing.
Big data.
Yeah.
And there was a big need for someone or people in the market that can develop technology that can go through all of
Sort
that data.
Through it. Yeah, that's the piece.
And make something out of it.
That's the magical puzzle.
Those predictions.
That's the puzzle piece right
that,
there.
That we're talking about.
What do you do with all of it? How do you sort it? What you got technology now that learns and gets better and smarter based on the history. So the technology that we have access to, it's called site surge. It's like surge in your site. It allows you to really focus and see when your customers are ready to buy. The technology we have is 24 months of activity that has happened across 200 million users of the web. It reads the current activity of the web, but then cross-references it from what it has learned from the 24 months prior.
Okay.
So that's essentially what machine learning is. Like I mentioned before, you burn your finger, you learn not to do that again. Well, if someone, let's say a diamond ring, an engagement ring, if 100,000 people in the basically the records, 100,000 people did XYZ before they purchased an engagement ring, now we know how to predict when these users of the web are ready.
Okay. All right. So if I'm getting it correctly, or before I make any assumptions, give me an example similar to the diamond ring. How how one of your clients can implement this? Like what's
It's almost any business.
do they plug into like the website?
So
Like,
this is how it works. So if a client wanted to hire my company to run their ads, I am obligated as a consultant to point my clients in the right direction so they get the best results.
yes.
I would say, okay, you're selling real estate. If you want to sell real estate or advertise to buyers and sellers of real estate, it will be a lot more effective if you advertise to people that are in the market at that time, at that moment, ready.
Yes.
Versus just, putting the oatmeal against the wall, or even based on profiles.
And where are those ads showing up? Like
Any social or search platform display, anything.
Google, Yahoo, Bing, Facebook, Instagram,
all of it. So when we get the data from the AI machine learning, we take that report. By the way, it's encrypted. I can't see any of your personal stuff. People think, hey, how sensitive of data can you see? The technology can see everything. It feeds us an encrypted report. We feed that encrypted report into your Facebook ads, and now you're only running ads to people that are pre-buyer. So you're targeting buyers, people that are in the position to buy at that moment, like they've done their research. So if someone's, auto dealership, let's just say auto dealership. The typical behavior of someone that's going to buy a car is, I have a 1998, Escalade or whatever. What's the value of it? What can I get for my trade-in? So they'll go on to a website. They'll look up the value of their vehicles, say Kelly Blue Book, whatever. Now they're going from website to website. Now they're on Auto Trader. Now they're looking at the prices of what their current car is going for. Now they're going to look at the different vehicle that they're interested in. Now all of these behaviors are being monitored.
Boom. Then you go to see what's going on with your friends and family on Facebook, and you get 350 ads.
Exactly. But you're advertising only. So there's two sides of it. You have the data, the AI, then you have the actual media buy. The media buy is it's like the same media buy as when you ran ads before, except now we're running ads in a smart way. We're not just throwing the oatmeal against the wall. You're more efficient. Your ad dollars are being spent in a smarter way.
So let me ask you something. Some of the changes that had happened around Facebook and their privacy.
I was laughing about that. I said.
And the company that was getting a ton of data.
Cambridge
Analytica.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because I think Facebook got tighter with.
I don't want to interrupt, but I have to.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, man.
So that's profile-based data, which is good. It's a great foundation to run your ads, to know who your perfect customer is. But the AI machine learning, buyer targeting, surpasses that by light years. Forget about the profile. Let's get alerts on who's in the market at that time. So when Facebook, when Zuckerberg was getting grilled by Congress, I was kind of laughing in my head. I go, that data doesn't even really matter anymore. I'm sorry, let me back up. It matters, but it's not as important because there's so much new technology out there that surpasses that, like the AI machine learning. It's almost like it's irrelevant. Like we're past that.
Got it. That's your. I'm in the phone industry too, so that's your start tech.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now we're on the highly efficient.
Yeah, it's
touch screen.
It's the new way. It's the new generation of advertising and marketing that's smarter. You're not advertising blindly. Traditionally, even before this, people would run ads and hope that someone buy based on their profile.
That something happened. And then you look at, how many clicks and how many of those opted in.
Exactly. Right? Yeah, this is a whole new level.
Let's get their email.
Yep. Yeah, get people to opt in. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's an inbound strategy. You create great content. You put it out there. You get them to connect with the message. So like when you run an ad, there's three, and I mentioned this in prior. When you run an ad, you want to interrupt them, grab their attention.
Yep.
You want to inform them, and then you want to invite them. The way that you grab someone's attention is you want to highlight a need or a want. I don't care what someone sells, product, service, there's a need and there's a want associated with the product or service. The need is usually on a human level. For example, someone's in the market for a home. The need is to have shelter.
Yeah.
To protect themselves from the weather or whatnot,
Yep.
provide for their family.
Yep.
That's the need.
Yep.
Okay. The want is I want a nice house. I want a big house, or whatever your desires
Yeah.
are.
Some
If you-
equity or whatever.
If your headline highlights and triggers the reader of the headline to think about the need and the want, then you've connected with them on a psychological level. Now they're thinking, yeah, then it gets them to read further, and then you have a call to action to get them to try to opt in.
Yeah.
But the way inbound marketing works is you want to create content that someone's going to connect with, and then they can opt in, they can give you their email address. There's nothing wrong with the traditional inbound method. It's more, we're past that. So that's more of like, so there's nothing wrong with search engine optimization. SEO was huge, and it's still a very important thing to pay attention to, but it's in the toolbox, so to speak.
Yeah.
So picture a toolbox.
It's one of the
You
things you
got
check off the box.
retargeting, you got SEO, social media posts, content writing, all that stuff still matters. It's in the toolbox. But right now, with a shiny light on it right now is this AI machine learning, and that's about to go in the toolbox. And then there'll be something new, a more advanced form. But sometimes people put all their eggs in one basket for digital marketing. Oh, I just do this now. No. You need a diversified plan. You need to use all the tools.
All the tools.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I didn't mean to go off on a.
No, you got in marketing. You want to be everywhere.
Yes.
They go to Facebook, you want to be there. They go to Instagram, you want to be there. They go to Google, you want to be there. If there's a few of you still using Bing and Yahoo, you want to be there.
Exactly. You have to. You got to go where the market is.
You got to go where the market is. Dude, this is great. No, and so a lot of people may think this is super expensive. Only big, massive conglomerate of businesses can afford this. Can a small business use it?
So I had to negotiate a very special deal because the developers of the technology are aiming towards Fortune 100, Fortune 500.
Well, I feel
And I don't want to get into disclose but I negotiated a deal where it's extremely affordable for a small business, but it might be a lot more than they have ever spent on digital marketing. You're looking at a range of a couple $1,000s upwards to, nationwide would be up there. But it's
is that a one time?
a month.
Oh, per month. Okay.
Yeah, to get the AI machine learning data.
Yeah.
To get reports on who's ready to buy your product or service in real time. You're looking at starting at a couple $1,000s and by the way, it's based on geography.
Yeah.
If you just tell me, hey, my zip code, maybe a 20-mile radius, you're looking at a couple grand. But if you're looking to go nationwide or just say region, say New England, that has to be a custom quote.
Yeah, you're looking at okay. But I don't think for a business that's established, even if it's just local, right? I feel like there's times in which a business will spend more than $5,000 to get a mailer out and not know anything about who's getting it, when they're getting it, how they're getting it. It may go into trash right away.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, someone with a grocery store in a corner.
No,
Like,
it's not a fit. I wouldn't allow them.
I don't think
If
there's a benefit for that.
If they called me and they said, hey, I want to do this AI, I'd say, no, I'm not letting you do it. If something's not a fit for somebody,
Yeah.
even if they throw up the money like this, let's do it. I'm not going
And
to
I
let
think
them.
that's where the toolbox comes in.
Yes. I'll say,
there-
let's look at your basics, your foundation.
Yeah, let's look at your presence online.
Yeah. Make sure you have a website.
If someone goes to Google, do you come up as a local business?
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
If the AI was less of an investment, then it would make sense, but it has to make sense for the business. But if someone's in construction, software, scalable businesses, if someone's selling, like I said, real estate, cars, insurance,
Yeah.
it's worth it to them.
Yeah.
And if someone's in a highly competitive industry like mortgages, yeah, you better be taking advantage of this because you have a whole lot of competition. And if you're in a competitive industry, AI machine learning will allow you to basically get in front of your competition's so if your competition's running a ton of advertising, the AI will allow you to get almost block their ads by getting in front of that market before your competition ever knows or anything. So it gives you that first to entry status. You're in first. Hey, this is what I have. This can solve your problem. This is what you're looking for. And then you engage them right away. But there's not, it doesn't, so this evens the playing field.
Well, I think, well, my thing is, I don't call it evening the playing field. I think if you can make the investment, right? I want my competition to talk to all of those that are not ready to buy.
Yes, but no, what I'm
Let me talk to the ones that are ready to
I
buy.
I get that, but it levels the playing field. What I mean by that is you could have a competitor spending $1 million a month on ad spend, something crazy like that, right? You could be maybe spending a fraction of that, but you're using the smart data. Now you're only advertising. So you're spinning your wheels less, but
yeah.
you're making an impact before your competition gets to make an impact
Yeah,
with their ads.
totally. Makes total sense. Dude, it's just, I cannot close this conversation without talking about the concerns of the data and the privacy piece. I don't think we've touched enough on the privacy piece. But what do you say to the people that feel like their information is being abused?
So I can speak firsthand of what I know personally.
Yeah.
I can tell everyone right now that on our end, no human ever sees anything personal about them. All reports, any AI technology, any ad tech technology that we're using that has AI connected to it, machine learning and following the market, we cannot see any data at all. I can't see what you did, what you looked at, or whatever. I cannot get any actual report of anything that's sensitive or private. Us as marketers, we get an encrypted report that is non-readable by a human. But when we plug it into your advertising platform, whether it's Google or Facebook or Instagram, the technology will read it and be able to target those people. So I cannot see, or any people can't see the actual sensitive information. And I'm speaking firsthand for my company. We can't see any of that. Now, I'm not speaking for everybody else. I don't know, but I do know that most organizations follow that, that level of privacy, because you could have somebody working somewhere and find out sensitive information about someone. You don't want that. And me as a consumer, not as a marketer, as a consumer, I'm like, yeah, it kind of bothers me a little bit. But then as a marketer, I'm like, this really makes things a lot more efficient.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's double-edged sword, man.
I can definitely see the benefits of having this information. For sure. I can see the benefits. But I also want to put myself on the side of the folks that care about their data, and the folks that may think that, as I mentioned, that their information that's available to this machine, it's being exploited. And there's some folks out there that may believe that this is an invasion of their privacy, giving it may not, you may not see it, but giving their information to a software or a thing that can help others target them directly, so that they so that they get persuaded into buying something, right? But if you haven't seen the documentary about terms and conditions may apply, watch it. I think it's going to be worth your time, because in there, if you have some of those concerns of what's going on with your data, and you are an open user of, let's use Facebook for an example, there's a privacy setting that you could go in and play around with. Google has privacy settings that you can go in and play around with. And if there's information that may be turned on today that you don't want to share, turn it off. I feel like all of these companies that have been targeted for misusing information of their users give their users the tools for you to go in and turn off a lot of those data points that may be shared today or may be used by AI to better present to you products and solutions that are out there in the market.
Yeah.
Right? Andy, anything else, man, that you wanted to share with us? Closing comments.
I think people need to learn how to respect the technology.
Yeah, no, I'm totally about that.
And, adopt the change, because at the end of the day, it's going to make everyone's life better, easier,
Yes.
more effective, and just, and then, but also keep the other eye open for anything that might be not in their best interest.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, me as a marketer, and me knowing how to use the ad technology correctly, ethically, morally, I can say firsthand right now that nobody sees a report of your data.
Yeah.
If we're running ads nationwide for a mortgage company, I can tell you right now that information's encrypted. Nobody sees it. It gets, basically, we tell Facebook ads to target this list. Facebook technology sees, the ad technology sees the data. So I think people should just kind of step back, be more open-minded, and knowing that AI and technology can help them also.
Folks, Andy Galashahi, man, VP, co-founder of SearchPRO Systems, right here in state of New Hampshire, Nashua, New Hampshire. These guys know their stuff. They are on the cutting edge of the digital marketing arena today. Definitely take a look into what they're doing. If you're a small to medium-sized business owner, call them, ask questions, find out how this technology can potentially help your business better target your potential customer. And you could call them at 855-548-7834.
And you can reach me at extension 2.
Call Andy directly. I have a direct number here. Can I even read that direct number?
Yeah, sure.
603-548-7834. That's Andy's number.
Yeah, we can, here's the thing, and I just want to say the AI technology sometimes is not a fit for every business, but I'd be happy to chat with someone about would it be a fit or not.
Yeah, man. And by the way, not just these AI conversations we had today. Listen, social media, it's huge. You want to have a presence. Have them take a look at your website. Have them see if your website is set up in a way that these Google robots can rank it correctly on their search engine. From when anybody's looking for your products and services, they can look at your design, make sure things are placed where they need to be, so they have a better impact when folk come and visit your website.
Just a full, thorough analysis of what they're currently doing.
Yeah.
From their web properties, so their website, their engagement. It's very important. Someone might have a website, but might have horrible user experience and user engagement on their site. Like on your top fold of your website, you got to have something that grabs someone's attention. And like we see that so much. Someone might have a decent website from a structure standpoint, but no engagement. But we'll just like going to the doctor's office, we'll do a full assessment and we'll let you know what you need to do to take it to the next level.
Andy, thank you, man. This was just another talk with Diego.